What's up, everybody? I'm here to bring you a cool video about something that we do in our properties that really has made the biggest difference. You know, one of the worst things about real estate is having a property get torn up or having a property get destroyed, right? Or having it not be maintained. You know, a lot of times when we let certain maintenance items go, what happens is it becomes a bigger deal later, right? And so my mom used to always say that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And boy, is that ever true in real estate, you know? And so what I've designed with my team is something called a biannual inspection. And what this means is that I send my handyman or my maintenance guy into every home at least twice a year to check on and to make sure everything is up to snuff, is just doing well, and to make sure that there aren't any huge concerns that we have to do. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm in real estate for the long game, for the long haul. This is not a get rich quick scheme for me. It's not something I want to get in and get out really fast. No, I want to own homes for a long time. I want to continue to buy more properties and better properties so that I can continue to take where I am now, which is at financial freedom, and go to the next level, which is ultimate financial freedom. This biannual checklist will help you get there in a more consistent, steady way. You got to use it for your properties. So let's check it out, okay? So hopefully you can see this here. Over here, I've used this for mine. We got all of our properties here on the side. And we've got the name of the person doing this. We've got the date. And we've got cleanliness and organization of the common areas. So right here, this is where my maintenance guy can come in. By the way, these are all for co-living properties, which is shared housing. So we furnish the common areas, we pay for the utilities. We've got just really two options to keep it simple. Is it 5-star or does it need attention? If it needs attention, then guess what? He can stick in the handyman can stick in any notes under cleanliness and organization notes. Then we here are all room and cabinet labels in place. They get to check that. If it's not checked, then of course, my team's going to look at that. They can redo that. Got the smell of the home. Is it 5-star, needs attention? In a co-living home, that's really important. When you go show a room, when you're showing agent or you go show a room, you want to make sure the smell of the home is really great. Got any notes on the smell? And then of course, one thing we've noticed you got to keep a track of is lawn, limbs, and trees. Now look, hopefully you have great insurance on your property, and no matter what happens, you're going to have, the insurance company will take care of it. But man, you don't want to have to deal with a tenant that gets hurt. You don't have to deal with not being able to rent that room. So if there's big overhanging limbs and things, take care of it. So 5-star needs attention, and your maintenance guy can fill in right here on lawn notes. Then we've got refill plugins in common areas. The reason we use plugins is just so it smells nice. We don't want to overpower the common space, but we want to make sure that actually when you get there, it smells good. Then we've got this button said review the cleaning checklist. The cleaning checklist is just making sure the cleaners are actually doing their job and that all the things that are on their checklist, which is a separate checklist, that they've done. And then review any actions from the cleaning checklist. Is laminated SWOT list and life door canvas in place? Either yes or no. So really simple, right? I'm going to see if I can actually blow this up a little bit. I don't know if I can right now. Wait, see, I probably can. Ooh, how about that? Make that a little bit bigger for you guys. So then we've got, this is the SWOT checklist is our cleaning checklist. That's what the tenants fill out on a weekly basis to make sure that they're contributing to the cleaning of the common areas. Now they can opt out of that checklist for an additional, I forget, it's $45 or $50 or a month or something like that. But if they're not opting out, they got to be filling their name in on that checklist. It's basically like an adult chore list. Then we've got change all inside air filters. If you want your HVAC system to last the longest, change the air filter. Then every year, twice a year, you really should be scheduling the HVAC tune-up just to make sure that you get the best life out of those things. I just replaced an HVAC unit. They're not cheap. They're 10, 15 grand for a good full system now. You don't want to have to go through that unless you absolutely have to. So take care of it. Stick the date in there. Stick the vendor used. Now for all of ours, is the thermostat locked and the fan set to auto? If it is, great. Check the front door. By the way, if the fan is not set to auto, it just runs 100% of the time. Again, it wears your equipment out more. You don't need it set all to on all the time. Check the front door battery lock. If you do this with keyless entries, this is specifically for a co-living property, by the way, then you won't have to change it that often, right? And you won't have to, or no, you will have to change it, but you won't have anybody getting locked out. Make sure there's lockbox in the keys. We always put a lockbox somewhere on the house, so that if that battery does die, there's a key with a code that someone can get into, and we can let them in remotely. We can give them the code if we need to. Is there a battery backup available for the room doors? So we keep it in a drawer in the kitchen somewhere. There's got to be a battery backup someplace so that if a tenant gets locked out, they can at least open the door that one time. Change the front door code. Every once in a while, it's important to do that. Change the water filters if that's applicable. Some of our homes are on septic or wells, and you got to change those water filters. Some of our homes are on septic. I love septics. They're cheap, they work well, they're easy to use, but you do have to pump them out, and so you need to know when the last septic cleanout was and what the next septic cleanout was. And then, of course, furniture inspection. Replace anything that's not 5-star. You want to make sure these places are great and last a long time. Write any notes on furniture. Inspect the siding of a house, siding notes. Inspect the roof and the gutters, right? Because I've had this happen so many times. The gutters will get clogged up. It'll slide down, it'll flow down the house and get into areas it just should not be in. So there's gutter and roof notes. Clean dryer lint pipe. Look, if this isn't clean, then you got to make sure. You could be looking at a fire in your house. Take care of that. Inspect the driveways. A 5-star needs attention. Driveway notes. Test all the railings with your body weight. Check all the smoke detectors. Make sure they're working. That's a liability thing and a hazard thing. Check all sinks, toilets, toilet handles, faucet exteriors. Flush toilets 10 times each. Check for backups. We've had so many backups in our homes that I started adding a special rider on all my insurance policies to cover sewer backups. But one of the things you can do is just get them in there, flush a bunch of times, see if anything starts to back up. In all of our homes, it doesn't matter if they're on septic or city sewer. It doesn't matter. We put a flush-only toilet paper in every bathroom because you never know who you might get in there, who's flushing things down. Very important to have that sign in there. Make sure there's a fire extinguisher under the kitchen sink. A lot of this stuff applies to short-term rentals too. Replace any light bulbs in the common area. Pressure wash the decks and siding, at least one time per year as needed. And then you write down the date of the next pressure wash. Actually, that should actually say next pressure wash date, I think is what that should say. Are all fireplaces blocked off? Look, you don't want to be dealing with real fireplaces. And then send all repairs to the maintenance team, okay? And that really should be a checkbox. I'll have to change that. This is a way, if you did this consistently, how safe would your properties be? How safe would the tenants feel? How clean would it be, right? Incredibly important to be using something like this so your homes last forever. Hope you enjoyed this video.